Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of Incompetent Nerds. I'm your host, Tank, with my two lovely and beautiful co-hosts, D and Mark.
Yeah.
Yo, yo, yo.
Oh, that was just some great that was some great energy in the beginning. I see how this cast is on the go. Whoa.
I saw a meme that was like things I hate. When the speaker at your event says good morning and then says, "Come on, guys, we can do better than that."
Motherfucker, it's too early. I haven't finished my coffee.
Right. It's 5:30 in the morning. Like, calm down. Right.
Exactly. But let's get things to it. So today's topic, D, you want to go ahead and give us our topic for today?
Yes. So this is an anniversary. Mark has been on here for a year. So we're going to get to hear Mark's origin story. You know,
Again.
This is going to be like his it's going to be like his 60 minutes. You know, 60 minutes of Mark.
I like that show. I used to watch it with my mom. Still good. I feel like the story quality has gone down, but it still holds up sometimes.
Yeah, and I also looked at those episodes too, you know. But some questions I'm gonna still kind of re-bring up and just, you know, rehash and stuff like that. But it's gonna be fun.
Yeah. We'll do rapid fire action.
All right, I'm about to be on my Joe Rogan shit right now, you know.
All right, let's do it.
Let's go.
All right, Mike. So first, kicking this off. So were you born and raised in LA? Well, where were you born and raised?
So I was born and raised in Santa Clarita, California. Still reside there. I was born at the same hospital that my mom worked at for 18 years after I was born. But there's only one hospital in Santa Clarita, so that's the hospital I was born at. There was only one other person born that day. His name is Anthony. And I actually went to school with him. So, you know, him and I got to know each other, became close friends. Don't really talk anymore, but he's a cool guy. And a little fun fact about that was my mom thought about naming me Anthony. So could have had a little snafu in the department if some folks weren't careful. But
Right.
she went with the American Mark, the fuckboy named Mark. So here we are.
I like that.
That is good. And let's see. So, of course, I know that you're Italian. So, are there any like misconceptions of like Italian culture that people like get wrong? You know, I just want to know out of curiosity.
Yeah. I wouldn't say wrong. I mean, I'm like so. My mom's side is like full Italian. That's sort of where I got most of my culture, just because that's who I saw most of my life growing up. I wouldn't say there's a culture that people get wrong. Obviously, people think of like food, the mafia, talking with your hands. Like, you know, it's very romanticized language, romanticized country, whatever, cheese. You know, when I went there, the thing that caught me so off guard, I guess, is that there's in Italy, when you think of Italians, people don't really think of like this emphasis on family.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a really big emphasis on family because families are sort of they're stronger than anything else that Italians have, because Italy used to be divided into city-states like way back, you know, before the Roman Empire, and so people didn't really have and people today still don't have loyalty to like their state or their country. Like, I love being from California. Like, I love being in California. I love, you know, being from Los Angeles. I love being from Southern California. But, you know, the idea that, you know, you love being from a certain family doesn't really exist in America. And that's sort of like something that does exist in America. I think when it's presented in like movies or something, and like in The Godfather is like a classic example, it's always like in a negative light, right? Like, you don't want to betray the family, or, you know, my cousin knows somebody who knows somebody, you know, and it's like shady. But I don't know. I think that's like a negative misconception, when most Italians are just, they have a big family, and, you know, they all love each other, they all fight, but, you know, they all have a good time.
You know, that makes perfect sense. I actually went to college And one of my buddies, he was Italian, and I went over his house with his family, and he did have a really large family. And one thing I thought was really cool was that everybody, once they walked into the door, they had to hug and kiss his grandmother, and I just thought that that was like the coolest shit ever. You know?
Yeah, and were you after 15 minutes, were you like a part of the family and it was like chill?
Yes.
There's like a very, but like there's something to be said about that. It's like a very low level of awkwardness, or like, they just like bring you in and it's like no matter where you go, you have each other kind of thing. So I think there's something to be said about that being, it needs to be more of a stereotype. I'll say that.
Yeah, no, you're right. And I feel like a lot of coaches can learn from that because they really did make me feel like I was a part of the family and everything. And,
Yeah, for sure.
But I always thought it would be like a race barrier because, I'm black, but they didn't give a fuck,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But no, that's really cool. I just kind of respect different cultures and stuff like that. And
I don't.
let's see.
Yeah.
Also, that's because Tank, he could be any race he wants to be and shit,
Yeah, he gets to be ethnically ambiguous.
Exactly. So if he wanted to be Italian, he could, But
Yeah.
I don't know.
Put on
Mark,
a mustache, walking with a pizza. Yeah, put on a mustache, walking with a pizza. You'll be good.
Boom.
Right.
Teach you how to say food, girls in bathroom. You'd be all right. They'd be like, "Oh, that's George. He's from Sicily.
Right.
He's from the island."
From the island. He looks like he could be Hispanic or something. Nah, he's like very Mediterranean from Sicily.
He got a lot of sun. Right. He works on an olive oil farm. It's fine.
Yeah, right, exactly. All right, and then so now that kind of talked about the whole, kind of like your life and stuff like that. I wanted to bring up comedy because that's what you're into at the moment. All right, so moment.
Yeah,
exactly. So, what got you started into comedy?
Sure. I mean, I'm sure we've definitely talked about this before, but I'll give you the highlights. I was taking Groundlings. It's a very famous improv school in Los Angeles, and one day I just woke up and I was like, I'm gonna take it. I didn't really have any basis or inspiration for it. I just I like acting. I like being in class. I like being around other actors, and I was in a place where I could afford to and take the class. So I went to the audition. Little did I know it's one of the top improv schools in the country.
Right.
But I mean, all that requires of you to get in is just a simple audition of some simple improv games. Can you follow the rules? Can you not follow the rules? And that sort of just helps there be a separation between good and great, I guess, if you want to think of it that way. I'll stay positive. But anyway, after a year and a half, 2 years through the program, I was still having trouble passing intermediate, and my professor or my teacher said something that was really interesting to me. She said, "You can follow the rules. You're funny. You can create. You have great presence and everything, but something you struggle with is creating characters." And I can admit that. That in acting, my characters are more subtle, and they're more things that I would play. But she was like, "You should consider stand up because that's a art form where you can create the characters that are you're funny, you're like what you think's funny." And I guess that statement resonated with me. I also happened to win like a free comedy workshop through a what is it, like they give out free raffle tickets, and some people win free tickets to a show, some people win the workshop. And so we won the workshop. I won the workshop, and I went. And then obviously they pitch you on the classes at the end. So I pitched my mom about the classes as well, and I was like, you get to write, you get to perform at the end. And she said yes, and she helped finance that. So she talks about that in our cast together. But
yeah, I remember that.
That was fun. Yeah, that was fun for her to do that with me and me with her. And everybody after that who I tell about it, they're like, "Oh my God, that's so cool." But just to wrap it up, I'll say that like I think I found like a little more happiness in performing than I did with improv,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it helps me just be on stage and have that creative outlet when I'm not auditioning or working on becoming a better actor. So that's why I do it, and that's why I think it's helpful. My one I guess caveat I'll say is that there is a lot of white guys doing stand up in LA right now.
Right.
And sometimes it's a little hard to differentiate yourself from what makes me funny or what makes me different.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the struggle I'm dealing with right now, is like trying to identify that and identify my point of view and make it solid. But it's nice to be aware of self improvement. I think that's always helpful.
No, I hear you, and that definitely makes sense. And you're right. There's actually right a lot of white guys now that are doing comedy, so I can kind of see where it can kind of get difficult, to
Yeah,
kind of like stand out in front of everybody.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But I have another question. I'm kind of like spearheading you into questions right now.
Okay.
All right. So have you ever bombed? Well, have you ever bombed yet? And if so, what?
Oh, of
Tell us
course.
about it.
Of course. I mean, I've bombed. Just to give you guys context, so the open mic or the underground LA comedy scene, whatever you want to call it, is filled with like open mics and book shows. So book shows at a comedy club are exactly what you think. People are paying tickets. They're coming to see you professionally. There's a 2-drink minimum. There's waiters. There's servers. There's a name on the marquee. All that good stuff. But the underground shows are more so like ragtag, anywhere you can find them. It's like a found comedy in a found space. Good example, I went to one last week that was in a laundromat on a Friday night. Like, no better place to do comedy, right?
Right.
But sort of the other venue that comics go to are open mics. And so there's a lot of open mics in Los Angeles that are pay to play. And what that means is you have to pay $5 to stand up and perform 5 minutes. So big
Okay.
problem. It's a big problem with that is that the 20 people in the room with you are all comics, and they only care about their 5 minutes, or they're thinking about, oh, how am I going to say this? How am I going to say that? When, are they necessarily going to be listening to you or giving you their full attention? No. So you really have to hone your material and really work on it a lot, and even practice it before you go out and perform it, I would say, because once you go perform it anywhere, you really have to command your attention in the stage. And when you're not able to do that, it doesn't really work out that well. And my example of that is I was actually booked on my buddy's show. He did it's like a half improv, half stand-up show. And I had 2 problems going for me that show. The first problem was the comic before me. He told this great story of how he got into SAG by being in a porno, and that was a great story. He written it beautifully. He had a bunch of punchlines. It was an awesome story. But my story was not, or my set was not a story. It was a stand up about my life. And then the other part of that story was that everybody in the room was the people on the show. So it wasn't anybody outside of entertainment, outside of improv, outside of stand-up. So that was hard to connect with when you say, I'm white, I've done this, I like Taylor, all these like external things about me, when artists already, like, either some of them know, they like the same things I do, or they know the struggle of being another artist. So like it's hard for them to connect, and then didn't get a lot of laughter. Almost every one of my jokes bombed, or did not get the laughs I was used to, and I just kind of panicked. I shut down a little bit, and it's like, it's shitty. It's the shittiest feeling in the world.
Yeah, I can imagine, and that's why I wanted to ask because I was just looking at interviews with different comedians, Dave Chappelle, Eddie Murphy, and everybody has experienced bombing. Early on, and even to current day, everybody bombs, but it's always amazing how people kind of bounce back from it. So I always wanted to
Yeah.
kind of know how you were able to do it.
Yeah, I mean, a good buddy of mine had a cast, and he was like, the best thing about bombing is that it makes you want to go up again and get it out of your system. You know, the quicker you can go up again somewhere, it's like the quicker you can forget about it. And
Right.
I actually had Josue Hernandez on. Shout out to Jose if you're listening still, Jose or Josue. We did an open mic run where we went to 4 open mics in one night. And that was awesome because it was like we were in different venues, we were in bars, we were in little workshops where comics paid, but we were everywhere. And it's like, even if we didn't like what we did an hour ago, it's like, it doesn't matter. We were doing it all over again somewhere else. So it was cool.
Oh, that is pretty cool.
Yep.
And also, do you have a YouTube or anything like that where you're showing your stand up and broadcasting to the world?
So I'm working on that now. When it's really hard to get people to tape you in the beginning. So I'm working on taking the videos I do have and trying to edit them into IG clips or YouTube clips. And my goal for 2020 is going to be about 1 video a month. That's, at least 2 minutes or at least a bit.
All right, cool. Because I was looking on YouTube to try to find some comedy or something from you, but I couldn't find it, so I just had to ask.
Yeah, so it's funny that you mentioned that because it's like Andrew Schultz talks about this. I'll go into a little tangent for a second. The average time spent watching stand-up comedy on Netflix, everybody knows Netflix, right? It's 47 minutes. So even if your special is an hour long, that means on average, most people are not finishing one comedy special when they sit down to watch comedy.
Absolutely true.
Right. However, on YouTube, the average time spent watching stand-up comedy is around 2 hours and 22 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason is because the videos are usually shorter. You can watch different comedians if you like. And, you can switch up the genre of jokes if, depending on what you're in the mood for. So Andrew Schultz was a comedian who took this idea and sort of capitalized on it. He had enough material to do a show or an hour, and he was like, "No, I'm not going to do that." And instead, he kept doing his shows, and he taped all of them, and he put out 1 2-minute clip each week.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And for a year, yeah. And after that, he, a couple of them went viral. Not all of them, obviously, but a couple went viral. And then people kept watching, and now he headlines and he tours, and he's a professional comedian just from that one business move, whatever you want to call it, artistic move that he chose to do to adjust to, the changing times, which I can really appreciate.
Yeah, I really love Andrew Schultz. He's hilarious, but he kind of started that whole setup with comedy, just one bit, pretty much per video. And then what happens on YouTube is that when people enjoy it, they just click on the next one and then they keep on going.
Right. So or they click like, and then a week later, your next bit will pop up, and then they'll be like, "Oh, I saw that. I remember that guy did one about socks. I'm going to watch his thing about sweaters or whatever,"
Right, exactly. Plus, he also did something where when Dave Chappelle dropped his special, he dropped his entire special online at the same day, same time, and everything. And he actually got a lot of traction. Yeah.
I like that just because it's like people need something to compare it to.
Right. And plus, he was basically saying in the Brilliant Idiots podcast was pretty much, he knew that the algorithms for YouTube, once Dave Chappelle dropped his special on Netflix, was going to be comedy. So it's a perfect time to kind of get into that market right then and there.
Right.
People are already looking for comedy. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Even if they don't have Netflix, they're like, "Oh, I need to be hip with it."
All right. Exactly. Let me look up some jokes or something. Then they run into Schultz, which was perfect.
Right. Right. Yeah, I like that a lot. He's a really smart guy when it comes to how to put his material out there. But I definitely want to work on hitting Instagram as well, because I think that's a market people are like getting more and more into, and I think that's something that 2 minutes, you don't think it's that long on Instagram, and you'll get through it.
Mm-hmm.
And even if you get through 30 seconds, if you can get a few punchlines in 30 seconds, that's still enough, you know?
Yeah. But yeah, that's really cool. Shout out to Andrew Schultz, you know.
Shout
He's
out to
really
Andrew.
funny. He also has his podcast with Charlamagne the God, which is really funny. And yeah, I like that.
Yeah. All right, hit me with another one.
All right, you got it. You know, I just had to give Andrew enough props, you know, for
Of
the
course.
time being. But let's see. So, what type of things do you joke about when you get on stage?
What type of things do I joke about? I joke about my life a lot. As I, people can look at my life, being like white guy from the suburbs, California, pretty liberal. There's
Yeah.
there's a very specific like point of view or stereotype that I guess could follow that.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess I like to joke about the fact that most of it is probably true,
Right.
and I think that's okay. I don't think that stereotypes are necessarily bad or wrong. I just think that people need to be understanding that, there's a lot of things that people in people's lives that they can't necessarily control.
Right.
And for me, it's like, I would rather sit back and appreciate other cultures and try to, find common ground and find things in common with people than sit here and say, oh, you're different. You're never going to understand what it was like to be like that, because that's a big thing that I've just struggled in my life a lot with, is that people say, oh, you don't know what that's like. I don't know what it's like to be an illegal immigrant or not know the language or, whatever. But when you're able to say like, who cares? Like I can order corn in Spanish now from the corn guy, 'cause like I picked up a few phrases that I need to learn how to order corn, and it's fun.
Right,
That's all it doesn't have to be like, you don't have to overdo it, or you don't have to like be this big overarching change wheel that's like all or nothing all the time. A lot of people on Twitter that's like the culture now on Twitter, is like you either support all of it or like you're out, but
Exactly.
I guess I try to joke about, finding a middle ground, whether that's driving a truck in LA, whether that's listening to Taylor Swift as a white guy, whether that's doing stand-up comedy with my mom, whatever it is that, people can at least be on some level like, yeah, I get where that guy's coming from. That makes sense. I've done that before.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And that's pretty cool. All right. And also, so I noticed your mom also does comedy and does stand up as well, but is comedy in your life kind of like a lineage thing, or yeah, just break it down for me.
I mean, my grandma was pretty funny. She would hit you with some zingers. And she had very good perspective on like when people were doing something like stupid things, or like when people were acting stupid, and she was very good at like calling it and mimicking it. My dad's side of the family, there's not a whole lot of funny people there. I'm trying to think.
Oh, super serious.
Yeah, my brother had some hijinks in the few times we hung out, but I think that was more of a big brother, little brother moments. I don't know. I wouldn't say he's a ha funny guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely my mom's side, my grandma, my aunt. Oh, my aunt and my uncle, they're so funny. My uncle's like a super sarcastic guy, and my aunt's like a super literal woman. So like that makes like a great combination. But the irony is my mom is the one that actually gets on stage and tells jokes. Go figure.
Right. And is she new to stand up, or how long has she been doing stand up for?
Yeah, I mean, our show is, the first time we were on stage together. So she's been doing it as long as me. Not as intense, or hasn't taken it as a potential career path. But yeah, my mom's capable of writing and performing a set just like any other comedian in LA.
Oh, wow. That's really cool.
Yeah.
All right, idea. You can have a podcast with your mom. That'd be fire. You know, have your own separate podcast with you and your mom,
Yeah. What would we talk? I don't even know what we would talk about.
She'll just
Everything.
roast you every episode.
Yeah, and that's like, and
This
people would love it.
Thank you
Right.
for joining the Brewers Podcast. Today's episode, apparently I didn't take out the trash today. So let's go ahead and start with that, Mom. And there it goes.
That's it.
Oh, that's so fucking cool. I mean, I wish that my mom was cool enough to like do stand up. You know, I always respected that because in a way, well, like I used to be a performer. I used to rap and produce, but you're pretty much kind of like the audience is like an orchestra, and you're trying to basically just trying
Of
to
course, yeah. You're trying
lead them
to
where.
yeah, gauge the temperature, gauge the age, gauge the crowd, what things they're into, things they're not into, and it's all different based on, city, alcohol, like age, demographics. So that's why I try to, like, my comedy is tries to be really, I try to make it really simple, like things about everyday life, because those are the biggest things that I think everybody can relate to. Because everybody has a friend that drives a truck and they're like, yo, I'm trying to move this couch. Can you help a guy out?
Right. And nobody wants to be the friend to help you actually with the couch. They're just like, fuck that, I'm sick, or
Well, the reason I don't do it as the guy with the truck is like, these are the same people that are like, why do you drive a truck? Do you hate the environment? Like, no, my truck's 13 years old. I'm saving it from a freaking junkyard with making waste, but whatever. That was a little soapboxy.
Can
I didn't say the
one thing?
punchline. Yeah.
Go for it.
All right, so wise words from my grandfather. This is how you know you have a true friend. There's 3 things they will do. So, if you go to jail, they'll visit you in jail. If you're in the hospital, they'll visit you in the hospital. When you need help to move, they will help you move. That's how you know you have a great friend.
I've done 2 of those things.
Except the moving.
Yep.
I've done 3 of those things for people, so I guess I'm a pretty good friend.
No, I used to help people move in college. I was just like, I got so sick of it. Like, because people in college moved every year. So it was just like, June or May comes along and you're just like, all right, like, let me I can cancel my gym membership this month.
Exactly. And what are some things that you don't like about comedy or doing stand-up?
Ooh, interesting question. What are some things I don't like? So
Hecklers.
yeah, they're a little annoying, but once you learn how to be present, I don't think they're the worst thing in the world. I think the worst thing is like, it's like in-group, out-group culture, as crazy as that is to say. It feels like being in high school again, because it's like certain comedians will only do shows with other comedians, or, if you have a show where, you ask people to bring folks or you ask people to pay, then it's like, some comics are, super on board with that. Some comics are like, no, I didn't bring anybody, but I'm still funny. So like, you should have got people to come,
Right.
So, it's a lot of times producers and comics aren't really on the same page, and it's just sad to see, because it's, you want to make good art, and sometimes that's hard, and sometimes, it can like get in the way of being like, oh, that's a really cool person and I want to be friends with them, but I don't know if I could work with them or do a show with them or whatever.
Okay. I could definitely see that. And have you ever like destroyed a heckler?
No, I don't. I've never had one, to be honest. I've never had like a really, really bad one. I've had a few, but they were like super, super mild.
Okay. Well, that just means that me and Tank has to show up and heckle the shit out of you on stage.
Yeah.
Well, you fucking suck.
No, but I have a feeling one day we do visit Marc at one of his stand-ups, and we're there cheering him on. He'll be the asshole. He's like, it's not just me, guys. Come on up, and everybody, cheer up and competent nerds. Is a trio up here. Me and Dean will be sitting there looking at each other like, we didn't sign up for this shit.
Right, fuck that. I'm walking out. Fuck it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just love and respect comedy. All right, so I got the foundation, the family origin story. I got the comedy, and now I'm gonna talk
Okay.
about something that's forsaken on the podcast.
Okay.
Something that's been. All right, so
I will fight you.
who's your? Hey, I'm ready for it. All right, so who's your favorite president that you voted for?
Who's my favorite president that I voted for?
Yes.
Unfortunately, the presidents that I voted for did not win.
Oh shit.
Ever.
Damn, that's fucked up.
All 4 times. What do you mean it's fucked up? Why?
That means you lost every time. That's fucked up, man.
It's what are we playing fucking basketball? It's not about winning.
Yes, it is. It's all
I
about
don't think
winning.
so, bro. Why is that like the culture? Is like it's not about winning. Like you don't want to vote for the person who won. You want to vote for the person that you believe in. Like what did I miss? Did I miss that day of econ class where they're like, no, it's actually about like beating the other team, and if you don't beat the other team, you suck.
Yep, that's Chicago culture. That's Chicago politics in a nutshell.
Yeah, so
it's all about win or lose. It's like fuck everything else.
that's what sports are for, man. Honestly,
Yes. True.
Because at least in sports, I can diffuse the responsibility. I can like the team, but not love the team, and then every year it can just be like, oh, it's like nothing ever happened. You know, it's like that. It's like if you had that girlfriend that cheated on you every year, but then got back together with you in March. You're just like,
ready for March Madness?
It'll be better this time, right?
Hey, Mark, come here. Let me put this clown makeup on you.
But no, that is a true statement. I've never voted for a successful presidential candidate because I've never voted for a candidate that's won.
Oh wow!
Because I try to find ones that closely value what I would believe in.
All right, and who could you name a presidential candidate that you believed in that didn't make it, unfortunately?
Hillary Clinton. I'm sorry.
I forgot the last one. I voted for. It wasn't Gary Johnson. I know he was like the third party independent candidate.
Oh yeah.
But I know in California there was a mathematician on the ballot. So I believe I voted for him. I just don't remember his name.
Oh shit! A whole mathematician? Shit.
Yeah.
He was trying to make math great again, bro.
Yes. Shout out to Yang. Even though I don't think he's gonna make it, but it's cool.
Hell no. Okay, let's not get political because I will go. No. This is about Mark.
Let's go.
This is about Mark. We're gonna keep it on subject.
You guys get so heated.
No, because D always does this. He puts me off on a tangent. I speak. Next you know, we're like, oh shit, we got 10 minutes left in the podcast. We gotta hurry up.
I even kept it appropriate and everything. It's not even. I didn't even answer it the way you thought I was gonna answer it.
Yeah, that's why he's trying to trigger me.
Yeah, because I know how to trigger Tank now in the cast.
I see.
We're gonna keep this going. D, what's your next question?
All right, you're right. Next question. So let's see. We talked about politics, things like that. All right, and what are some things that a presidential candidate should have or should know? Or you don't have to tell anybody specifically, but just what are some things that you align with? Yeah.
You're loving the politics. That's okay. I'll do the
segment.
Yeah. I'll do the what most interviewees do when they they know that they're being backed in the corner, but they also know how to get out of a corner, sort of like a good boxer. A good leader, I'll say that. It doesn't really matter if it's the president or maybe a school or maybe like a Rotary Club, whatever, what have you, a bird watching club.
Fucking Rotary Club.
A good leader should be open to change. I think that's a good one, especially in this day and age.
And criticism.
Right? That means being a good listener, being empathetic to other people and their needs and their values. They should be willing to fight for what they believe in, even if that means giving up things that are in their lives.
Oh my God.
Sometimes it can be money. Sometimes it can be, power, the right thing to do, or something maybe even comfortable for them. But, be willing to give up those things and put yourself in uncomfortable spots for the good of whatever purpose you're serving. And then I'll throw you guys a curveball because as I get older, I've come to value this more.
Mm-hmm.
I really, really, really respect people who can cook. And here's why. Because cooking is science, right? You follow a recipe, you get a result. But cooking
Mm-hmm.
also represents, patience and, survivability and really understanding, our globe or our earth, where the things in our earth come from and how to change them and make them into things that we can enjoy and we can share with other people. So those are my 3 things.
And you handled that well, like a pure politician,
I appreciate that. I feel like politicians and stand-up comics, I'm sure they got to be on the same wavelength.
Exactly. So now I might vote for you now. I just want to throw that
Mark
out
for
there.
president 2032.
Let's
Voting
go. Let's
I'm
go.
doing it.
Let's fucking go. Mark for
I'll only
president.
be 39. Yeah, that'll be my first presidential election I can run. Well, I can run in 35. We can run in 2028.
Oh, you
Can we?
still got a
I
shot
thought
for
it was like
2020.
40.
No, 35. It's 35 for president, 30 for senator, and 25 for Congress.
There should be a limit in terms of how old.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Bernie. I like Bernie, but man, 4 years later, this is the before Bernie and this is the after Bernie. You seen that meme? It's just dust.
After Bernie.
No, 4-year term. Like after your 4 year, like at the beginning of the term, and then at the end of the 4-year term, and it's dust for Bernie Sanders.
I'll be
I
all right.
fucking died when I saw that one.
That'll be a cool way to go out though. If someone told you like, hey, you're gonna die, but you're gonna be president of the United States when you die, would you be like, all right, I'm jazzed?
Right, I'll take it.
Here lies the president of the United States.
Yeah.
Because you go out with a bang,
Right.
Don't tell that. Don't tell that to Clinton.
Go out with a bang.
Oh, shit. Yo, it's terrible. You a piece of shit for that thing.
I was a kid when that shit happened.
Oh, shit. I was a kid when that shit happened, too.
Hey, why was that phrase always used? Like, hey, I pulled a bill last night. And you just like, what the fuck are you talking about? Then you grow up and you're like, oh fucking
shit.
meatheads.
Yeah, fun fact, Monica Lewinsky is now an advocate for cyberbullying with young teens. Because she was literally the first person to be like cyberbullied, right? Or like
that is
have her
true.
name slandered via the press.
Oh, shit. That is interesting as fuck.
Yeah. And her parents are plastic surgeons in Beverly Hills, so like she's chilling.
Yeah.
She's definitely chilling. Hell, she could take on any face she wants.
Yeah.
She could literally be in disguise. You look at a picture of Monica in the past and then be like, now, like, you don't look like no Monica Lewinsky. No, I'm not. I always get confused with her. I have the same name, but no, that's not me.
I like to run into her once just to be like, how was it?
How was it? Oh, God.
Oh, shit. I hate y'all.
I love Mark. That was a good one.
Yeah, because is anybody else wondering, like, how soft the carpet actually is? That's gotta be on. That's gotta be on more people's mind than just mine. You know what I mean?
Oh man, I think we're just giving Mark more material for his next stand-up.
Right.
Yeah, I gotta be. I'm glad I can record, or these are recorded, so I can just go back and be like, "What did D say last week?"
Material for this week's show. Let's go.
Right. Plus, Monica Lewinsky, she knows that there's gum underneath the presidential table. She knows all of this. Right. Plus, Monica Lewinsky, she knows that there's gum underneath the presidential table. She knows all of this. Right. Plus, Monica Lewinsky, she knows that there's gum underneath the presidential table. She knows all of this. Right. Plus, Monica Lewinsky, she knows that there's gum underneath the presidential table. She knows all of this.
It's probably from Reagan. He seems like no, he was a jelly bean guy.
Yep. Yeah.
Nixon, maybe. Nixon.
Nixon looked like
Yeah.
he was the
Probably.
stick gum underneath the
Stressed out.
desk.
The stressed
Right.
out chewer.
Oh my god. Nah,
Ah.
I could see Carter was too laid back.
Yeah.
I think if
Carter
any
was so super chill vibes that like people forget he's still alive. Did you ever realize that?
yeah,
Yeah. That's
I
so true. 100%.
I feel like the only mark he left underneath that desk was maybe like the skid marks from his shoe. As many times he like probably chilled back, like leaned back, scuffed
Oh,
the
like kicking
side.
his feet up.
Yeah, he probably just scuffed the side of the desk. Like that's his mark. Reagan most likely pounded the desk, so there's most likely like imprints on that bitch.
Right.
He seemed like the type of man that like looks like he punches shit, even at whatever age, at the ripe age of what he was like 60 something when he was president.
Yep. Yep. But see, that's like I kind of look up to Ronald Reagan. He was an actor,
Yeah.
governor, president. White guy, cowboy.
Yeah.
That's like my aesthetic. Just the whole. Let's have nuclear weapons to scare the world. I don't know if that's the right way to go, but not everybody's perfect.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It was the 80s.
Yeah, you're right. And nobody is perfect. And people have to kind of recognize that, whether, presidential candidate or comedian or anything, it's like everybody has their pros and cons.
Yeah.
You know what, D? You actually gave me a cool idea for a show because so the Reagan Library and the Nixon Library are in the Southern California area. I've been to both of them.
Mm-hmm.
But when you go there, it's like it's not really partisan. The presidential library is not it's like a full picture of who they were, but it's also a full picture of they try to paint the other side really well, of why this was happening and what was going on. Who is someone taking a piss? Like I don't understand.
That is
I
not
know I'm
me.
trying to be
I'm not-
professional and get
That ain't
more
me.
followers and 5-star reviews, and you're pouring a glass of water.
That wasn't me either. I don't know what that was.
Dude, I'm freaking out right now because I'm just chilling right here at the desk, and I heard that. I'm like, what the fuck? Who's taking a piss? Mute the mic.
I'm in my closet right now, so I don't know what the fuck's going on.
He's trapped in the closet.
All right.
Yeah, but back to you, Mark. Yeah.
Yeah, it gives you good dual perspective, if you will. So yeah.
Yeah, and plus that's the hardest job you could possibly have, and the risks are always high. So no matter which side they're on, I always respect who they are, because that's a tough fucking job.
Yeah, I feel like I need to run for president now. Is this like the intro to my campaign?
Yes,
people just need to watch this episode.
That was my intent, still along.
I see.
It was me trying to make you become president.
I appreciate that.
I got your back. But I kind of have one final question that I guess Tank could ask, because I pretty much asked everything I wanted to talk about.
Sure.
I even wanted to touch up on a podcast scene, which is, politics. So just closing out is pretty much, are there some things that you will want to change about yourself? And what are they if they are?
Oh, interesting. I guess I've gotten 2 notes lately about like being more present, not just in comedy but in my life, and that's something I guess I didn't know I was struggling with. I thought I'm a pretty present guy, but I guess if people are saying I'm not as present as I could be, then I need to work on that. I guess I can translate into comedy as well, be present on stage and whatnot. But I think I also want to, and I guess need to make more of an effort to create something that's meaningful, beyond this podcast, beyond comedy. Everybody's life is finite, so you have to find meaning. And I really enjoy creating things. It's just hard to, there's obviously a lot of barriers to get in the way. I won't make excuses, but I need to find time to do that more, and hopefully I can.
Yeah.
And you guys help with our weekly cast. That's one thing, that I look forward to. So thank you.
Oh, no problem. See, I had to close it out really nice, you know? I closed it out introspective, see? You was
I
a
like
little
that.
shaky with, with politics, but I brought you back around. See, I got your back. And that's everything. Oh, go ahead.
You had a question, Tank?
No, I don't have anything. I just cracked my elbow. Just cracked.
Wow,
Loud as hell.
that's the loudest elbow I've ever heard.
Hey, I was not expecting. I just went to move my arm and it popped.
Oh, shit. But yeah, but those are all the questions. I feel like that's what everybody will want to know. You know? I just wanted to, not like bash you or be like evil with questions. So yeah, just lighthearted and fun. This was cool.
No. I enjoyed it. It was a nice. It's been a nice year. Hopefully, we can keep it going.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's it for me. Tank, do you have any closing remarks on Mark?
I got nothing. I just got one question. This is for D. Since when you became such a dick?
Oh, I've been a dick since I was like 12. So.
What 2004?
Oh, that was fucking good.
Oh, that hurt me. That shit was hilarious. Oh my god.
Yeah, but
I love it.
I feel like we have people in this world that aren't dicks enough to each other, you know? You need somebody that's going to kind of push you out there, even if you don't want to.
But see, that's you want to get into a tangent. That's like you're trying to just bring people out of their comfort zone, and I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing.
No.
But society views you as like, why are you doing that to people? That's so mean. That's so rude. Whatever. But I think you're just trying to help people out.
Yeah.
And that's what D is about. Helping people out.
Yeah, because I grew up really shy and stuff like that, But
yeah.
You just kind of have to just go out there and do it,
Yeah, and now being able to express yourself, like be who you are, you know what you stand for. It's nice,
Right. And I also feel like in society now, I guess this would be a great closing statement. But I guess that people in society now, I feel like they're really afraid to, kind of reveal to the world who they really are and express themselves. And instead they kind of built this, So they kind of built this shell of what everybody wants them to become. And
yeah,
much agreed.
So whenever I notice that, I always try to push people out of those limits to just kind of see who they really are.
Mm-hmm.
So they can also feel comfortable with really being themselves. So that makes me a dick, so I'm cool with that,
Yeah.
I was saying that with the politics part. You broke policy. You broke podcast policy.
I know. I had to do it.
I'm gonna have to write
if
you
it
up
gives
for that.
if it gives you any solace, we have that policy because of our other friend who loves his soapboxes, so to speak.
Okay.
But something Tank and I are never really. I mean, we're both liberal for the most part, so like we don't even have a reason to argue. But we don't like pushing views on other people. We just like expressing ourselves, telling our story, because that's what we got to share at the end, right?
Yeah, exactly. And that's
so
why
you broke the rule, but you brought it around. So every rule is made to be broken, and every rule has an exception.
You know what? I'm gonna have to add that rule right there too. If you break a rule, because all rules are meant to be broken, bones will be breaking.
I'm cool with that.
All right, D. So when I see you, we're just straight boxing. No hi, what's up? It's just straight boxing.
Hey, I'm fine with this.
That's gonna be so weird for people on the blue line.
Not even. It's gonna be a normal day. Like, oh, they're fighting. Okay,
I know. After I said that, I was like, no, it's not.
Right. You're gonna hear that one person, calm down, stop fighting, somebody call the police.
Nobody else
putting this shit on the internet.
People don't even pull out their phones now when they see fights in Chicago. They just mind their fucking business.
Yeah, they just turn their head and keep walking.
Have you guys downloaded the Citizen app?
The fuck is
No, what's
that?
that?
Oh, it's dangerous. Basically, whenever there's a reason the cops have to get dispatched, armed robbery, assault, child abduction, whatever, and you're close by, your phone will ping you. So in LA, you literally have people like showing up to this corner, and it's like, "Yo, where the robbery homicide at? You know, let me get this on Instagram."
Oh, that's fucking
Oh
terrible.
wow.
But I'm interested to see what Chicago's is like if your phone's just pinging 24/7.
It depends on
Right.
the area. I did have this radio, this what you call it, cop
Yeah,
radio
yeah, yeah.
app.
It's kind of like that, but it's like the upgraded version because like no one reads the radio codes.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm listening to this shit, and I'm no bullshit. I was chilling at home, about to game, and I hear a couple pops go off. I was like, "That's a little suspicious." I wasn't too sure it was gunfire or it was fireworks. So I get on the app. I'm like, "Yo, that really did scare the shit out of me." Right away, they did a dispatch. The dispatcher was talking to the cops, saying there was supposedly 6 shots fired at the location. They said, "I'm like, oh shit, that's literally a few blocks away from me." Cops went to go check. Another cop came in, a different cop saying like, "Oh, it was fireworks. We already checked. We were in the area." I was like, "Whew," but damn, that was some fucking suspicious ass fireworks. I was like,
You
"Yeah, I
never
know
know.
the difference."
Crazy.
The thing is, I
You
knew the
never
difference.
know.
I knew the
Exactly.
difference, but I guess the area they were in, the sound and how they boomed out made it sound different. It threw me the fuck off.
Damn.
Hey, but what we all
Well,
should do is, before we end this,
Mm-hmm.
we should all go to the gun range.
I'm down.
All right. See you guys in Wisconsin.
Yes, let's do it.
Because I know they're not legal and they can't be that legal in Illinois.
No, there are. There's gun ranges in Illinois.
No,
Yeah.
yeah, I know, but not the fun ones.
Oh, not the fun ones. No, you gotta go to red states. Indiana's
Yeah.
one.
Red states.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
it's
say
true.
that.
What you call it? My sister had fun
Nevada, Arizona.
with dude. That's
Oh,
what we gotta do.
dude,
that
the ones in
Nevada.
Vegas are so cool.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. We should go there and like rock like the heavy machine guns and shit.
Yeah, you
I'm
can.
down.
There's one where you can like it's like a zombie game. You like they set up a whole like setup and the zombies like pop out. It's like a shooting range target, but like you go through with your friends.
Yeah. Ping, 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 ping. Oh, that's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
D
We
gonna be
definitely
John
need to
Wick
do
in there.
Right. Because I could secretly shoot, which people do not know. Well, it's 2 things that people don't know about me: that I could secretly shoot, and that I could secretly kick them in the fucking head. You know, I got a mean ass like head kick, but people don't know.
Cause bro, you're like 4'2".
Right. But no one expects the head kick.
I say that's a good way to end. Do not
That's a great way to end.
like don't
Yeah.
fuck with D because you will get head kicked from a man who's like what 5 feet tall.
Thank
Right.
you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for listening to another episode of Incompetent Nerds. I'm Mark,
I'm Tank.
And I'm D.
and we will see you next week.